Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth and final week of this month's worth of training. Now, like I said before, we're going to focus on today mainly with things like posture, core stability, and also working into things like balance as well, because all of those are very important in everyday life, but also will implement and reinforce what we've worked on the past 3 weeks as well. So let's start if you have a mat today or something on a soft surface. Let's get back into that quadruped position like we worked on before. And from here, we're always keeping our abs engaged, nice flat back, right? If I were to put a glass of water on your back, it wouldn't spill, right? That's a nice cue for you to remember. And from this position here, I want you to start focusing on making some small circles that you're drawing with your knee, okay? And as you're doing so, you're not moving through the waist, right? Your opposite leg stays very solid. Your abs are engaged, and the only thing that's really moving is your leg on your left side, right? Now, start working into larger circles, and at the same time, we're still trying to keep our hips nice and square to the ground. And the more square we can keep them, the more we're really forcing that glute to work through its range of motion, but doing so under our own control, right? Muscle activation with range of motion works really well. Now, let's try the opposite direction, right? Let's try some counterclockwise. Let me fix my mat here. Let's try to draw those counterclockwise circles. Same thing, starting small. Hips are nice and square to the ground. Abs are engaged. I'm taking some nice shallow breaths in and out to make sure my abs are engaged. Working into larger circles. And you should feel your abs work to keep your body positioned. At the same time, that side of your hip there, that glute muscle really starting to work, okay? Let's try the other side too. I just like to do maybe 8 or 10 circles. It's not really working for speed, just making sure I'm under control, starting small, working larger, and at the same time, keeping my hips nice and square to the ground. Okay, let's switch directions. Nice and small. Focusing on my breathing as I'm exhaling and really keep my abs even more engaged. Hips nice and square to the ground. Very good. Nice work. Should have felt that side of your hip there really light up and engage, really working our glutes. Next one, we're going to work on some torso range of motion. So from here, same position, quadruped position. What I want you to do is take this right arm and rotate through the torso, keeping your hips still nice and square, so lower body doesn't move. Reach through as you get into that tightness of your upper right side of your back, okay? Just exhaling nice and smoothly as you do so. Take a breath in, exhale again. Put your hand next to your ear and rotate open. And you're just trying to look at your elbow, getting into that further range of motion of your torso externally, right? Back into that internal reach through, work into the tightness of your upper right back. Inhale, exhale again as you reach and rotate around. And with all of these, you're working into the tightness, never into any pain, okay? Really just working on improving our ability to get into these positions, all right? Let's switch sides. Exhale smoothly as I reach through, feeling that nice tightness in my upper left back. Inhale, exhale as I rotate through, kind of looking up at my elbow. Inhale, exhale through. Each time I exhale, think about using your abs to help rotate through your spine. Okay, hips are still nice and square. I'm just rotating through my middle and upper spine to get these positions, really working into that range of motion of my torso. Nice work. So never work into pain on these, especially at the start. Just working on getting into that tightness of those positions as you reach through and rotate around and keeping your abs engaged to get you into those positions, okay? Great ways to implement range of motion, active range of motion, and improving those over time. All right, so those are great ones to start with. From here, I'll grab a extra resistance. And this is called, if you've done something along these lines before, a farmer's carry. And we're going to grab something heavy on one side, okay? And this is where you kind of challenge yourself. Think about from the car to the house, and you've got your groceries. You're likely trying to make 1 or 2 trips, right? So you load it up. So get something nice and heavy, and think about this almost being like a plank in the sky. So just standing here, try and think of yourself standing perfectly upright, and almost to an onlooker looking at you, they would have no clue you're holding a big heavy weight, right? So abs are engaged, shoulders are back, glutes are squeezed, I'm nice and tight here, I feel pretty centered. So from here, Let's try and walk. And we're not focusing on speed. We're just focusing on keeping our body in that same linear pattern as I'm walking, okay? Like I said before, from the onlooker, it should look like you're carrying nothing. But we all know how hard and challenging this is inside, right? So nice and smooth, abs stay engaged, shoulders stay back. You feel your glutes working. And the goal of just doing this one-sided is that we all know that as soon as you load one side, you want to just kind of basically fall over to the side, right? So your abs are really having to work super hard to maintain that nice and upright position. So this goes a long way in terms of posture, in terms of abdominal engagement through movement, and also bringing into balance, right? Because we're still walking, but we're holding something very heavy just on one side. So balance is definitely challenged as well. So really think about keeping your abs engaged throughout and keeping a nice upright posture. Let's go ahead and put that down. Nice work. So that's pretty good. You can challenge yourself with some weight there. It may just come down to your grip strength on that as well. So another layer of two balance that we can focus on. And I always recommend anytime working on moving with balance to start somewhere close to a wall. That way we've got something secure we can grab onto in case we do have issues with balance. As you get better and notice yourself getting better, then you can progress out into more open space. But from here, let's just start by standing upward. We're going to raise our one knee up, pull towards our chest, and take a step, right? Left, then switch legs, knee up, take a step. Knee up, take a step. Knee up, take a step. And as you notice, we're going to go backwards too here in a second, but a couple things to think about as you're working on progressing into these moving balance type exercises is, first, where are my shoulders, right? Are they slouched forward? Am I leaning forward? Number one, that's going to affect balance. So shoulders stay back. Those middle traps, like we worked on with our pull aparts and our rows, keeping those engaged throughout, that's going to lock in the top part of our torso. The second part is keeping your abs engaged. If you can keep your abs engaged the entire time, inhaling shortly, exhaling forcefully, that really helps keep our abs engaged. That helps secure kind of this part down to the hips. The last part is each time you stand on one foot, making sure you're really squeezing that glute that's securing your body weight from the hip down, right? So squeezing your glute, abs are engaged, shoulders are back as you reach up into that position. If you can remember those three things through any balance type movement, you're gonna be super solid, okay? So like I said before, shoulders, abs, glutes, lock those in. Let's go backwards too, right? So boom, take a step backwards. Okay, this next one very similar too. This time we're gonna go up and out and down, okay? So take a step up, out, down. Take a step up, out, and down. I like this one too because now it incorporates some range of motion around our hip. And at the same time, more of our body gets away from our midline and challenges our balance even more. Because up, out, and down. Let's try backwards too. Up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. There's three places. Shoulders back, abs engaged. That standing leg glute, nice and secure. It's engaged as well. Up, out, and down. Okay. Let's give those 5 movements a try like we did before. We did the reach throughs and the rotations. We did the hip circles. We did the farmer's carry. We did the linear up and linear back, linear up and out and back. I think those 5 combined together give you a really good sense of range of motion, muscle activation of many areas that are important along the hips and upper torso and shoulder, working into strength and balance at the same time. So give those a try. If you want to go through that circuit 1 or 2 more times beyond this, go for it. Take rest breaks when needed. But hopefully you guys enjoyed these 4 weeks as much as I have. And it gives you a sense of how you can incorporate some of these movements into your everyday routine to really work on building that base and improving and really making a stronger base as you continue to challenge yourself with some external resistance. So thank you guys for this last month and have fun.